What's up, y'all? So yeah, you see the title, Inferiority Complex. So I'm gonna let y'all in on a personal experience with how I realized I had an inferiority complex. Okay, so I'm gonna get right to it. So the few jobs I've had since I started working, at every job I would always have an issue with either the supervisor or the manager, um, but usually somebody in so-called power. uh, and the reason why I was having an issue with them is because at some point, whatever would occur, the way they would talk to me was in a way like they were talking down to me, or like they felt like they had power over me, or just to me disrespectful and just talking to me crazy. And as a result, I would pretty much lose my mind. I mean, a complete spectacle at the freaking job. Losing my temper all over the place, yelling, going off, you know. But one thing I'll say that I noticed, after every explosion, I noticed I will feel drained. And so after blowing up on a few of them over the years, and I noticed the same outcome with me feeling drained, I'm like, yo, why is this taking my energy like this? So anyway, to make a long story short, fast forward, closer to the present time, when I started doing shadow work, I had to start looking at myself. This literally takes honesty, first and foremost, self-analysis. It also requires that you try to neutralize the inflated ego, because that'll prevent you from even coming to a conclusion. And so after doing that, a technique that I use is I'll ask myself questions like, why did that bother you like that? And then I may have answered, because I feel like they talking to me reckless, you know? And then the next question would be something like, okay, but why couldn't you just say what you had to say, spoke your mind, but did it in a different manner? Like, this is your so-called, what do they call it? If I'm considered subordinate, they're over you in rank, basically. These people literally could call you in on some insubordination type stuff, which ironically that never happened, and that was surprising. I'm like, why they never did that? Anyway, it came to me that when I started doing the shadow work, I said, okay, can you identify what it is that they're doing that you don't like? To sum it up shortly, I would say they're talking to me like they're superior to me. And in my head, they're not. I don't care what clock they punched that told them they was over me, you know, still just speak to people with respect, you know. So I said, do you have an inferiority complex? And I'm sitting there thinking, and this is not something that took place in one day, because the inflated ego be in the way, trying to deny the situation and not wanting to take accountability, you know. So I entertained the thought for a moment. I said, okay, let's say you do have an inferiority complex. Where would this have come from? And it may be some other things that I didn't even delve deeper into it, because once I found one avenue that could be why I had an inferiority complex, would be pretty much just being in this system in particular, as a melanated person, and growing up, you know, around the time I grew up in the 70s. And I want to say I could remember before they started coming out with melanated dolls. So the only dolls you was going to get, they weren't going to look like you. And so these types of things sometimes program our minds a certain way. We don't realize this. And you're running around here from some experiences and programs and just watching TV and just being in the system, you could feel it. So I had to admit to myself that maybe somewhere deep down inside, all covered up, because I would have never thought I had that. I said maybe somewhere deep down inside I feel inferior. So I'm like, okay, we gotta change that. But anyway, and voila. Once I discovered that, it's been smooth sailing. I haven't been having these issues. So it's like, once I brought that to my consciousness, my experiences changed in that area. And so, yeah, so that's my example. But before I get off of here, I just want to read something. Oh, by the way, this is in a book called Primer of Jungian Psychology. Excuse it, it's a little beat up, but yeah, I would highly recommend it. I guess this is free publicity for these people. Okay, so this is under the title Complex Indicators. Any disturbance of behavior may be indicative of a complex. An exaggerated emotional reaction to a situation indicates that the situation is connected in some way to a complex. And so in these instances that I was in, my behavior was very exaggerated. Okay, so next it says, as previously mentioned, okay, am I reading the right thing here? I guess that was pretty much it, because I'm not going to read this whole thing. But yes, it's like these situations served as a trigger. The people triggered me. Triggers are good in the sense that it's bringing something to your attention, or trying to at least. Some people get triggered, go off and just keep it moving. They don't think nothing of it. But this is where you actually can learn a lot if you're willing to ask yourself the real, tough, honest questions. Such as, is this situation reflecting something back at me? Because remember, as within, so without. People just want to look without. No looking within. But I'm not going to go too far off into that. But yes, y'all, I hope that this helps somebody. Okay, so I found what I was looking for. So this was it. Jung states that a complex is more difficult to uncover when there is overcompensation. Overcompensation is when the nucleus of a complex is obscured by another complex which temporarily has a higher energetic value. So me flying off the handle and being a loose cannon and live wire, you name it. That was me overcompensating for the fact that I indeed at that time had an inferiority complex. And I guess what I was trying to say earlier was that growing up in a society that, and I'm not racist, but that tends to program you with the idea of, to buy into the idea of white supremacy, okay? Because I remember as a child feeling and thinking things like, why did I have to be different? So it was clear it was having an effect on me. And we got to be aware of these things. And a lot of these things start from childhood, y'all. We gonna have to go back and, undo some things. All right. So hopefully that helps someone. I'm out.